Do you remember the summer of 2016? I mean, it really felt like the entire world was outside, phones in hand, all united by this sudden kind of innocent joy. We were all on the same team, all trying to catch 'em all. But what if the game we were playing was also, in a way, playing us? Right, we were all out there hunting for Pikachu, for Snorlax, for that super rare Charizard. It was so simple, it was fun, and honestly, it brought millions of us together in a way we'd just never seen before. But behind the scenes, something else was being hunted, and it wasn't fictional monsters. It was something infinitely more valuable, something we were all giving away for free, every single time we opened up that app. And that's really the core question we're diving into here. We got these cool digital creatures, sure, but what did Niantic, the company behind the game, get in return? The answer, well, it isn't just about business. It might actually change how you see that entire summer. Okay, so to really get what happened, we've got to go back to the game itself. And it was a legitimate cultural phenomenon. Parks, city squares, random landmarks, they were all totally flooded with players. The whole promise was to get us moving and exploring, and you know what? It absolutely worked. But here's the twist, the big reveal. According to the analysis we're looking at today, we weren't just players. No, we were basically an army of unpaid data collectors. We were all working on the most ambitious mapping project in history. And the game? The game was just the hook. So the real transaction here wasn't about catching Pokémon at all. While the game was free to play, it definitely wasn't free of cost. We were paying with something far more personal than money. We were paying with our data. And this number, wow, this really puts it all into perspective. Niantic was recently valued at a staggering $3.85 billion. And that price tag, that wasn't for the cute characters. It was for years and years of data collected from every single one of our footsteps. So what does that kind of money actually buy? Well, it buys a map of your daily commute. It buys the knowledge that you visit a certain hospital or church or a law office. It even maps out who you hang out with in the real world and can build a whole profile about your lifestyle, all just inferred from where you walk. Okay, so what was all this data actually for? It wasn't just sitting in some database somewhere. It was the fuel. It was used to train a powerful new kind of artificial intelligence. See, you weren't just giving them information, you were helping to build the machine. It's called a large geospatial model, or LGM. And honestly, the easiest way to wrap your head around it is to think of it as a 3D ChatGPT. You know how ChatGPT understands language because it's read the whole internet? Well, an LGM understands physical space because it's processed billions of location points and images, the very ones we all provided. And its power is pretty incredible. Niantic's own documentation explains that this AI doesn't just map what it sees, it actually predicts what it hasn't seen. It can intelligently guess what the back of a building looks like because it's learned the patterns from thousands of similar buildings that you and I and everyone else walked past. And the sheer scale of this operation, it's just staggering. I mean, we are talking about 10 million scanned locations globally, 1 million new ones being ingested every single week, all of it fed into an AI with 150 trillion parameters. This wasn't just a game. It was an industrial-scale data harvest, and your movement was the fuel. But, building a powerful AI is one thing. How do you turn all of those footsteps into actual cash? Well, Niantic created this brilliant and almost invisible engine of extraction that turned our gameplay into their product. So it works like this. A brand, let's say McDonald's, pays Niantic to make their restaurant a Pokestop or a gym. Then the game gives you little incentives to go there. When you show up, Niantic has proof of your visit, which they can then sell back to that brand. Your physical movement was literally turned into profitable inventory. Now, Niantic might argue that the most intensive data collection, that whole scan a Pokestop feature, was optional. And that's a clever distinction. But the truth is, the entire game required continuous, high-precision GPS tracking just to work at all. Those optional scans provided the juicy detail, sure, but the required tracking provided the entire foundation for the map. So this all raises a huge question, right? How was any of this legal? It didn't need some sophisticated hack or a security breach. It just needed a gap in our laws, a very, very big one. And the simple answer is this. Unlike a lot of other places in the world, the US just doesn't have a single, strong federal law that governs data privacy. And this created the perfect environment where collecting, bundling, and selling this exact kind of user data wasn't just possible, it was perfectly legal. This quote from the source material really highlights the strange disconnect in policy. I mean, think about the intense focus on data privacy with apps like TikTok. And yet, this massive transfer of sensitive American location data happened through a simple market transaction, with barely a whisper. So where is all of this heading? What's the endgame? Because Niantic's plan was never just about one game. It was always about building the foundation for the next era of computing. Their ultimate vision is to own the operating system for augmented reality. Just think, when we're all wearing AR glasses one day, the company that owns the most detailed, intelligent map of the real world, that LGM we all helped build, is going to hold immense power. They'll own the platform that our new reality is literally built on. And that brings us to this final, and frankly, pretty chilling statement from the source. The purpose of the game was to build the map. And now, after all these years of collecting our footsteps, that mission is almost finished. Which leaves all of us with one last, lingering question. We were all so busy playing the game, did we ever stop to ask what happens when it's over? Now that the map is nearly complete, what new game is about to begin?